All right, so maybe we could both use some more practice, but
That's for sure. Pistol's not my forte, but hey.
Yeah, I gotta say my mechanic's way better than your Beretta.
No way. Absolutely no way. Beretta's a classic, man.
All right, well, we might not be able to solve this, but one thing's for sure, we need some more 9mm ammo.
We definitely do. I think I know what we need.
All right, let's do it. Hey guys, Gavin Gear and Kyle Shields here for Ultimate Reloader. What do we got here, Kyle? I see a familiar press. The rest of this looks new.
That's right. We just got the 550 case feed system. So a lot of it is very familiar if you're familiar with the Dillon case feed systems. With the addition of some bracketry, and we got some posts and mounting hardware. But other than that, it's very familiar. So we'll be doing something very interesting, loading 9mm fully with the 550 and bullet feed.
So why don't you put it together and then we can together go over what you did.
Sounds great.
Cool.
All right, quick update. I'm about halfway through the case feed installation. So far, so good, but I did run into a snag. When we were doing our box contents, I mentioned we had some poles. One of them is used for the case feeder, and another is going to be used for our bullet feeder. But I was missing a part that I didn't realize, which is the universal mount for the bullet feeder. Dillon makes this, and it will include a post, like you see here, and some hardware as well. So what I was trying to do, I was trying to mount both of the posts to the back of the press here, and that's not what you do. You mount the bullet feeder separately. I had them send one of their strong mounts as well, and this should be a little bit more compatible with the whole case feed system rather than the inline fabrication ultra mount that I decided to use. And it'll be nice to have an extra strong mount in hand and have a 550 just ready to go. If you do want to use the inline fab mount, you're going to need some longer bolts, and it's a little trickier to install, but you can do it. I just figured, hey, why not use the strong mount and be able to use their ejection chute as well and bend bracket. So I'm going to keep on going. From here on out, you'll see the strong mount being used, just so you know. So I'll update you when I got the case feed installed.
So, Kyle, you got the case feed system installed. Do you mind if I take the honors?
No, go for it,
Okay,
man.
let's get this filled up. Okay, so our tube is filled. Right away, I'm just looking at the setup. A little bit different than something like on the XL750, right, where it's kind of built into the machine. This is an add-on kit.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, the subplate comes off. You've got the inserter and all of the bracketry there. You've got to unbolt the press,
Right.
get your bracket for the support pole. The collator is kind of attached here to the shutoff switch. This is one of the bigger differences visually from like the XL750 system. So we've got kind of 3 different tubes here that fit together, that kind of thing. Talk about this. What is this little guy? Which comes with the kit, right?
Right, it does.
Okay.
It's an alignment tool. So when you're putting back on the base plate, you drop it inside the powder funnel, like die essentially, and it helps you align up the base plate to the whole system so that way your base plate isn't twisted left or right. So what you want to look for is that it's operating smoothly and not catching, that the adapter isn't catching when you're setting it all up. So that's all that's for. I was very curious when I saw that.
That makes sense. And if someone was going to do this, how much time should they budget for the install?
Hour or 2, depending. You know,
Gotcha.
if you're taking your time, it doesn't hurt. You know, pay attention to the details. The manual's very in depth, so just follow the instructions. Yeah, you're looking about an hour or 2 install.
I assume it'd take less time on a new press because you don't have to tear everything down.
Exactly.
An elaborate setup that you've got going or
Especially
whatever.
if you already got everything set up for any of your loading sessions. So that obviously adds a little bit more to the time. But yeah, it's really not too bad overall.
Nice. And if you don't mind,
Just slide them over there.
Hey, there we go. Okay, so it looks like it's working good.
Yeah.
Why don't we add the next components towards getting ready to load?
Let's do it. Okay, so I've got the 550 almost fully set up. The last thing I need to do is add the bullet feeder itself, but a quick overview of what I got going on here. So station number 1, I've got priming only. Station number 2, I've got powder charge and case expansion. Station number 3, I've got the bullet dropper die. And station number 4, I've got bullet seating and crimping all in one step. And since it's a 550, we're a little bit more limited, and you have to combine the seating and crimping typically, for pistol anyway. If you're on another press with more stations, you could separate those, which is usually ideal. I ran a few rounds through, everything's good so far. I was just manually feeding in bullets to the bullet dropper die. But one thing I quickly wanted to cover is that Dillon recently updated the caliber conversion kits to a version 2, which just means everything is all one piece here as the bullet bowl assembly. And instead of having to take apart a bunch of different parts and pieces, it's pretty much just a very quick changeover. So I'll show you how that works. All you need to do is have an 1/8 hex key, and you just unscrew the center screw here and set the screw aside because you'll be needing that here shortly. Then make sure you keep the pilot shaft right here installed as well, because you'll obviously be needing that. Then you take the whole bullet bowl, install the pilot shaft, and just drop it in. Make sure that your conduit spring is pointing this way when you install it, and then reinstall the screw. So if you're a current owner of the version 1 caliber conversion kits, you can get a 50% discount to upgrade to version 2 if you like, as well as the price is raised just a little bit from $99 per caliber conversion kit to $110. Another quick thing to note that I thought was interesting is that they'll be releasing 3D printing files soon, which I always look forward to something like that. So I definitely would love to check that out when they do that. But the last thing I need to do is get the universal stand put together and installed and get the bullet feeder placed and continue my setup. And I'll update you when I'm done.
Well, this is looking amazing, Kyle.
Yeah, so far so good.
And you've got everything loaded. Everything is kind of spun up. You mind if I give it a try?
Go for it.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
This is the craziest, like, 550 situation I've ever seen.
Yeah,
wow.
I know. It's quite nice to use.
The stroke is so short
Yeah.
and easy.
That's one thing you don't think about, you know?
And I love the pre-processed brass.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we're using our processed brass from all the Mojo Precision brass we used during the 9mm processing. So far everything's working nicely with that.
Ooh, yeah, I like this. And you don't even have a sizer in there
No, not at all.
because we've already sized it.
Exactly.
But of course we could have one in there.
You could
Super
have a
easy.
sizer, decapper. You know, you could just do expansion as well, depending on your setup. But bullet feeder was really easy to set up. Honestly, new caliber conversion kits are much quicker.
Yep. Man, that is working absolutely amazing. You want to give it a try?
Yeah, sure. It's smooth.
I know he's already given it a try. He set it up.
Yeah. Oh man, I like it.
It really does demonstrate how useful it is to do pre-processing on brass. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because if you had range pickup brass and needed to swage all this, you wouldn't be able to do that on this station, on this press anyway. So having it prepared and ready to go just makes everything a lot smoother and even quicker. So I'm really surprised by this. I actually quite like this setup. It's just smooth. It's a joy to use. Already like the 550, mind you, but I don't know, with the additions, it's just fun.
Yeah, this is really maxed out and super smooth. And you know, there are some very specific things that the 550 brings to the table that other presses don't.
Definitely.
The manual indexing means you have more usable capacity for cartridge overall length.
That's right.
And then also with the smaller shell plate, there's a little bit less deflection. So sometimes you'll get more consistent shoulder bump or, you know, cartridge base to datum on the bullet seating depth, and you know, some factors like that. So
yeah, and I like how it just makes you slow down just a little bit more compared to the others. It makes you pay attention, feel a little bit more in the moment, feel a little connected. I know it sounds silly, but like a single stage, it's like you feel a little more connected to it than if it's just kind of doing everything for you. But this allows you to just focus on the indexing, focusing on make sure everything is working, and then hammering out rounds. So yeah, we filled up this small bucket a little, like quite quickly actually.
Yeah.
So
super fun setup. And a couple things Kyle and I would like to know from you all. First is, what do you think of our extreme Dillon 550 9mm setup here with the bullet feed, with case feed? These are both things that you don't typically see on a 550.
No.
It really kind of pushes the case capabilities out there. And then second, if you were going to create a setup like this with a 550, pushing it to the max, like what would you be loading and what would your motivations be? You know, is it because you already have a 550 and you want to take it to the next level? Is it because you like the way that this press works? Drop a comment and we'll join you down there in the comment section. Also, Kyle has shown you a lot of things here. We've got this universal stand, the mount for the bullet feeder, the improved bullet feed now with the quick changeovers, which is awesome. The case feed kit, the mount for that. The article is going to have the full bill of materials. So if you're wondering how you can go about doing this, the article should be helpful as well.
yeah, and another thing I'd like to know is if you were looking at getting a 750 from your 550, would this keep you on a 550?
True.
So I'm very curious about that. Would this make you stay? You know, with the addition of the case feed, because that's a big one. So, yeah, it's great, man.
Yeah, you're going to need to keep an eye on your powder and not being able to use the same kind of powder check system, and some things like that. With 9mm, that's not a big deal if you're super disciplined, but something to know and think about.
For sure.
Good job setting everything up. Thank you very much, Kyle.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching Ultimate Reloader on TV and want to take advantage of free resources, exclusives, and hot deals, just hold your camera phone up to the QR code, tap on the link, fill out the information, boom, you're getting Ultimate Reloader emails. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. Thanks again for watching.